many of you would have a burden that God has put on your heart, and you can be a part of what He is doing on the earth. I lived in Toronto, and across the street from me lived a little girl whose parents had fled from Eastern Europe, and they were Jewish. The mom wore a babushka, and they spoke with a very heavy accent. And one day she and I were sitting on a large snowbank in the backyard, and she says to me, "I hate the Germans." And in my little 3-year-old self-righteousness, I say, "Well, you mustn't hate anybody." And we go back and forth arguing, and finally she looks me in the eye and she says, "You don't know what they're doing to my people." So I guess I've carried the Jewish people in my heart more sometimes than others, but like throughout my life, really. And we saw from the scriptures that God talks about a time when the Jewish people will actually leave from the land of the north. It was that specific. And of course, Moscow is directly north of Israel. And 1948 was the year that Israel again became a nation after all the years when they were scattered. And my mother and I were making beds one day, and she said to me, "I think this is what the prophets must have meant." And the Lord opened a door for me to be involved in a group that helped the Jewish people out of the former Soviet Union when the wall fell down in 89, 90 to rent berths on a ship. The Jewish people would get on a ship in Odessa and would be transported to Haifa, Israel, and would begin a whole new life there. While we were on the ship, Jewish people were aware that some of us who were on the ship were having a part in helping them home. And so they would come up to us and say, thank you. And I talked to them about prayer, and I talked to them about standing strong in the Lord. And when it drew near the port, the Jewish people were all at the bow of the ship, just looking at the land that they had longed to come to and never thought would be possible. And so that was a thrilling moment to watch them disembark and walk in the land. Some of them get down on the ground and kiss the soil. And then the other day, I saw the number that 170,000 we have helped carry back to the land of Israel. And yes, I was very humbled that God would use those of us who were involved. It has been a great joy to be a part of what the scriptures talk about in the prophets, particularly the Old Testament prophets. And so many of you would have a burden that God has put on your heart. It could be a completely different country, it could be a people group, it could be just your family, it could be young people these days, but there's a burden on your heart. And I just encourage you to listen to the Lord and to pray for the right timing for whatever He might have for you to specifically do. Well, whether it's the Great Commission or whether it's to help grow the body of Christ, you can be a part of what He is doing on the earth. And what a privilege. Don't miss it if you are feeling God leading you. And when you read the Word, let it come alive for you that these are things that God prophesied millennia ago, and they're coming true today. That's something that should fill all of us with joy and determination to work for the kingdom.